Welcome to Star Teacher Training. In this video, I've got a great activity that'll quickly get your students focused, settled, and speaking quietly in your preschool and your primary school classes. It's called lip reading, and it's a great one to add to your bag of activities. So keep watching. Lip reading is a really simple and easy activity for your students to play in the classroom. All you need is just a set of flashcards on the board or a list of vocabulary, phrases, or short sentences on the board for your students to see and to use. In this video, let's use this vocabulary and these sentences here. Next, you want to remind your students that they should raise their hands when they know the correct answer. They shouldn't just shout it out. And then you can tell your students to look at my mouth, what am I saying? And silently say the words for your students to watch and then raise their hands. Let's look at a couple quick examples. First, let's look at some words. Remember, look at my mouth. What am I saying? Were you able to get it? One more time. It was banana, right? Let's look at two more examples. Here we go. And the next word is, so we had cookie and apple. We can also try some short sentences. So remember, look at my mouth. Again. And then the next sentence. Again. Were you able to get those? I hope so. It can be a little tricky at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. In my experience, your students will quickly raise their hands to give the answer, and then you can just continue to play until you've gone through your list once or twice, or your students get restless and it's time to move on to the next activity. There are lots of reasons why I like lip reading. The first is it's great for settling my students and managing their energy levels. This is really useful in lessons where I've already done some fun games or sang some really exciting songs that got my students all worked up. In those cases, I use an attention grabber to focus everyone on me, and then we play lip reading to bring those energy levels down, get the students to be quiet, and get them to be focused on me in a productive way. The second reason why I like lip reading is because it really is good pronunciation practice for my students. This is because it gets them to zoom in onto my lips and then see how I form words or sentences and really focus on the shape of my lips as I'm saying these things. You'll also really notice that a lot of your students silently mouth the words themselves and try to figure it out just naturally as they play the game. The third reason why I like lip reading is because it makes use of an L1 skill that the students already have. When they're learning their native language as young children, they'll often just focus on the speaker's lips to figure out how their parents or other adults or other people form the words in their own native language. And that skill is still really present in preschool and in primary school. So that even when I play with my students and I go head to head, I almost always lose because they're just that much better than me because they already have this skill present. The last reason why I really like lip reading is because it's great for fillers and emergencies. If I ever look down at my watch and notice that I have some extra time that wasn't in my lesson plan and I need to fill it with something productive, I can just pull out lip reading and play with my students really quickly with like no prep. And I know that it's going to be productive and it's going to be, entertaining enough for my students to use up that time. Here are a few final tips for lip reading. First, remember, you got to give your students a list to work from. They can't handle random words or random sentences. It's just too difficult. So make sure that you have a list for them to work with. Second, try not to over-exaggerate when you're silently mouthing the words. It's really tempting to, but you want to try to keep it as natural as possible when they're watching you. And then finally, my last tip for you is, this is a great game to play as a whole class with you leading, but you can also actually do this in small groups as well, where your students play in groups of 3 or 5 students, and one student just silently mouths the words, and then their classmates guess what the word is. Whoever guesses correctly first gets to become the new silent speaker. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to click like and subscribe. And in the comment section below, What other channels or websites do you go to for English teaching tips? And finally, if you're looking for more information on this activity or in teaching English in large class settings, don't forget to go to startteachertraining.com. Thanks again. See you next time.